Hi guys, my name is Mac and thank you for joining me on my new video. Today I would like to discuss a topic that is very important to me, and that is being a female in a male-dominated program or field. For those who don't know me, I am currently taking mechanical engineering and I'm in my last semester, currently applying for jobs in mechanical engineering. So most people know engineering in itself is a very complex and difficult field just for the fact that there is a lot of science and math involved, there's a lot of thinking involved, and it's not a field for everybody. So in itself, it is a very difficult program to be in. But where I've had my issues, it wasn't necessarily with my program or my school or the things that a lot of people do have issues with. My personal struggles were more focused on the fact that I was treated differently just for being female. Obviously, being treated differently just for your gender really sucks. And in any program, it really shouldn't happen. In any place in day-to-day life, nobody should be judged on gender. It happens, and I kind of want to talk about that. So I have two examples that I would like to share today, and I feel like we just have to have more conversation going. So the first thing I wanted to discuss was general classroom culture. In my program, we are a very team-oriented program, so it is encouraged for people to make friends and get that going, and we're always told that the people that we meet in our program could very well be our coworkers, so it's a good chance to get to know people. But what I've experienced is that the jokes and the commentary that sometimes happens ends up being either sexist, sometimes they can be racist or against another group or people, and I find that very unfortunate because I get offended when I hear something that is mean towards females, and I find that it would be hurtful to just about anyone who doesn't happen to be the group that doesn't get picked on. So oftentimes there will be commentary in the classroom, not necessarily directed at anyone, but just in general, which will make the classroom vibe very uncomfortable for some of us who aren't comfortable with those jokes. And those are the comments that aren't even directed towards anyone. When it comes to the comments that are directed towards me or another person in the classroom, then obviously it's even worse. I have had comments towards me where it'll be about how I look or being less strong or able to do something. And I won't get into details about specifics, but any comment towards someone is just, it shouldn't be said if you don't know that person. And unfortunately, I haven't found that speaking up about it has helped. I am someone who will stand up for myself because I just don't have any patience anymore for rude commentary. So when I speak up, it is usually in the moment, face to face with someone. If they tell me a comment that is inappropriate and has offended me, I will tell them straight up. Unfortunately, then I'll get some retaliation where I'm either too sensitive or I can't take the joke or insert other lack of understanding. I like to think that people just aren't getting it, that they just don't realize that it's actually straight up rude, offensive, ignorant, misogynistic, racist. I just don't get why people are offensive in jokes. It's just why there's no room for that, especially in the classroom. Like, we're just there to learn. I'm just there to learn. I don't need someone commenting on my abilities or my looks just because I am different. And they don't even know my abilities, which is what's frustrating. They don't know what I can do, so they're just assuming based on the fact that I am a female presenting person, and that's super frustrating. And the second thing that I wanted to bring up was, in part, it goes with the assumption that I am less able because I am female, and this comes up during my practicals or my lab portions of the program. So we are often paired up into groups. Again, our program is very team-oriented, and just for realistically speaking, there's just not enough equipment in the labs to do everyone individually. So we do pair up into groups, 2, 3, maybe 4 people at a time. And I often get some pushback when I try to take my turn at a certain lab, a certain piece of equipment, a certain task, because the assumption is that I can't, or I don't know how to do it, so I shouldn't do it, even though school is where you're meant to learn it. So everyone should have a chance to learn the machinery, learn the technique, learn the equipment, and get a chance to do that and show that they're able. And I've often tried to discuss it with my partners. That's where I'll get some pushback. If I bring it up with a prof, I'm often said that if you don't find another team, which if we're all paired up in groups of 4, they can't make a group 5, or I can just do the lab by myself. I can understand where the prof is coming from, but obviously if I'm doing a lab that's meant to be done by multiple people by myself, that's so much more work that's on my shoulders to do the equivalent lab as everyone else. And the only reason that I get less help in my lab is because I was mistreated, and that just doesn't make sense. I think that there's a lack of understanding that if you're putting someone in a single group, that's so much more work, that's so much more stress. I don't think they get it, because it's technically solving the problem. I don't have to work with that person. And the back end of that is that lab partner that wasn't treating me equally, they are never talked about that, and we all go on with our lives. So I find there's a huge hole in the system where there's just a lack of support, at least for our school. Everyone seems to focus on making it more inclusive for people with disabilities. I'm 1,000% for that. It just seems that we're forgetting the invisible issues. So yes, someone who has a wheelchair should have a better table. Someone who has a difficulty with focusing on the test and reading the question should get extra time. Well, someone who is mistreated for their gender should have some sort of support. But I haven't seen that happen, unfortunately. I'll end this rant on a positive note. I have had a meeting that I got to speak with the administrative staff for not only my program, but the whole department. And we got to have a conversation about how I was not happy in my classroom, to the point that I don't know if I'll be even happy in my field. My reasoning behind that is, if my classmates become my coworkers, they're not just going to change as people. I am very hopeful that the administration staff will take what I've said to heart and really understand that there is a problem that needs a solution. If you have any similar experiences or commentary that you'd like to make, please make a comment down below. If you want to see more of these deep conversations with me, I'm hoping to continue this series of videos with other topics that I find very important to be discussed. And if you want to keep seeing my videos in general, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to make sure you get those notifications. Bye.